We are in beautiful British Columbia, and today we're gonna wander around and do a bit of unusual blind camera test. On one side we have iPhone 17 Pro, and on the other side we have Sony A7 IV, a full-frame Sony camera used by many professionals. And I know, we're comparing a $1,200 phone with a $2,500 camera, but in the end you will decide which one is better because, as I've said, this is a blind test. The rules are very simple. I will show the picture A, then picture B, then both side by side. You pick the winner. A and B are completely random. It's not like A is only iPhone and B is only camera. We're gonna have 11 pictures in total, and after it's done, you should have numbers 1 to 11 with A or B next to it. And when we're done, we're gonna go once again over A versus B to see who won. I also decided not to overcomplicate. I will just use auto mode on both, because iPhone is iPhone, but Sony actually has a pretty decent auto mode. Let's go. We first have this nice picture of nature in broad daylight. Feel free to pause if needed. And again, I always mix A and B. Then it's time for some buildings on cloudy, a bit of sunny day. Now we have a pier with clouds and sun, which is always a bit of a tricky thing because of HDR. This is actually 4x zoom with both cameras. Now we have this nice marina here. This is actually a pretty good restaurant. Closed, unfortunately, at the moment. We're back in nature. This is a classic example of British Columbia walk through the forest. This is zoomed 4 times with both cameras. Again, a tricky scene because of these clouds and sun in the background. A fairly regular, cloudy beach day. And this is pretty cool, shot in the night. Again, fully on auto mode on both sides. And we've seen them all. Let's now go through images once again and see who's who. Also, I would love to vote, but I'm biased because I already know who's who. But I showed this exact test to my wife and I'll share her results. She saw exactly what you saw, an exported video with A, B and then both. She didn't see zoomed images or originals or whatever. She saw exactly what you saw. So yeah, let's go. Left we have the iPhone and right we have the camera. Wife voted for camera on this one. And when we zoom in, we can truly see the difference in details. On iPhone, well, just look at the trees and the mountain behind. Everything is a bit washed out, while camera preserves details a lot. By the way, every time I zoom in here, that's just digitally, and it's zoomed 8 times from the original image. Here again, phone is A, camera is B, and wife voted for camera again. But now when we zoom in, we can see that iPhone actually preserved a lot of details. Just look at the chain, look at the letters and everything. Like, details are very, very, very good on iPhone. And I must say this is relatively close. Camera is a bit better, but it's still pretty close. Very good. Wife voted for camera again here. So 3 to 0. But I mean, when we zoom in, we see that iPhone performed pretty well. It might be a bit too aggressive with HDR. I mean, you can see those clouds and everything. Sony is a bit more mellow here, but overall, very good performance. Okay, now we have 4 times zoom. Wife actually picked iPhone here, so it's 3 to 1 now. And when we zoom in, you can see that actually iPhone preserved a lot of details. I almost don't know which one is better here, even if you zoom in. Which is pretty crazy that this 4x zoom camera is performing so well on iPhone. I'm actually pretty shocked. Because look at the sails and the strings. It's very, very well preserved. iPhone, I'm surprised. Great job. iPhone left, camera right. Wife picked iPhone, so it's 3 to 2 now. And when we zoom in, we can see that, yeah, camera definitely has more details here. Look at this private sign. It's very, very noisy on iPhone. Well, Sony preserved it well, but I must say, when I look at it side by side, iPhone performed very well. Wife gave this one to iPhone on the right side, so it is free now. And when you zoom into this, yeah, iPhone performed very well. Camera is definitely a bit more sharp, but I mean still, this is just a phone. Quite impressive results. Especially considering that Sony actually shoots in 33 megapixels for this one and iPhone is 24. Camera is on the left, wife picked that one, and I would also pick it. Honestly, camera nailed it here because it actually looks like this in reality. It's very green. iPhone photo is just absolute trash. I don't know why, but it just didn't pick up anything. And I took more photos during that walk, but all iPhone photos there were just like absolute trash. You look around and it's so gorgeous, and then you look at the photo and it's just And when you zoom in, I mean, it's even worse. Just look at the camera, how much details are preserved, colors and everything. And iPhone, I just don't know why it struggles so much with scenes like this. Maybe this is something that can be optimized later and can be done with software processing, but right now this is very terrible, unfortunately, for iPhone. Camera on the left again, wife picked it, 5:3 for camera. This is 4 times zoom, and when we zoom in, I zoom in 8 times. I mean, results from iPhone are pretty impressive. So much details are preserved, and it's not such a huge difference between details in camera and iPhone here, which is very impressive. I mean, this 4x camera on iPhone is just, it's phenomenal so far. They did something very well here. 4 times zoom again, iPhone is on the left side, beautiful picture. Wife picked it, but I would pick it up too. It's just a beautiful picture. And when we zoom in, I mean, yeah, iPhone is just crushing it. You can see that Sony preserved dynamic range a bit more, because look at the boat, and the top is white and the bottom is dark. You don't really see that on iPhone, but there's still a lot of details. Yeah, this 4x camera is very good on iPhone. Here, wife picked iPhone again, which makes it 5.5, which is very cool because now we have the next one will be the winner. And I'm just absolutely impressed. This is 4 times zoom camera again, and iPhone is just phenomenal. I mean, the amount of details preserved here, they're pretty much the same as on camera, maybe even more. I mean, look at the beach and the stones there, and the bushes. I'm just absolutely impressed by this 4x camera on iPhone. And finally, we have the night scene, and the wife picked the winner, and that is iPhone. And yeah, when we zoom in, camera preserved a bit more detail, but this is a night scene, so it's actually pretty phenomenal, because I used a bit of a trick for the Sony. I needed to put it on a tripod because you cannot use a camera like Sony during the night without a tripod. iPhone was, of course, just held in hands, but pretty decent results for iPhone. And after seeing all this, I must say that I'm very impressed by 17 Pro camera, especially because I had 14 Pro before, and that camera was really a trash. I can't remember the last time when I took a photo with 14 Pro and I was like, wow, this is a great photo. You just take a photo and that's it. But with 17 Pro, I actually had many moments already where I'm like, wow, this is a great photo. I don't know what were results for you. Here it was very close. iPhone won. And does it mean that you don't need a professional camera anymore? Absolutely not. Sony gives you so much more power, lenses that you can change, external equipment, the video is incomparably better. And usually you would always take photos in RAW and then edit them. With Sony you can always get a great photo, whether you're doing portrait, nighttime, wildlife or whatever. But you'll need to put in way more effort and of course money. This test was done just out of curiosity and I'm very happy with results. I definitely recommend the iPhone camera. It's especially impressive what they've done with that 4x zoom camera. But in general, such small sensors and lenses that produce such great image quality. But once again, nothing can replace a real pro camera at the moment, and I doubt that will happen in the near future. And also... Oh, wait. What happened? Hey, I just resolved my customer support problem. What do you mean? So, a customer requested a refund through my bot, refounded him through Stripe, cancelled his account, and even sent me an entire copy of the chatbot conversation.
Bro, relax. Don't give all the data to some public API.
Nah, that's Rasa. It's an enterprise-grade bot with the highest possible security and compliance. Everything is running on your servers. Nothing goes to some public AI APIs. You have absolute control over responses. You define the flows. For example, here the bot recognized the intent of the user, that he wants a refund, and started the flow. And you can integrate it with your external databases or APIs and do any actions.
How did you build it?
Well, you just grab your Rasa developer license and you can experiment with it. In short, you start a project with Rasa in it and you get a nice boilerplate. Then you change the examples here to populate it with data about your business and define potential flows that could happen. You then simply train a model with Rasa train. It will use all the data that you defined and you can deploy it wherever you want. And that's it. You own the data and they have tons of feature, anything you could imagine for a chatbot.
I mean, that sounds phenomenal, especially for some tricky industries like banking or insurance or medical or law or something like that. How is it called again?
Rasa. The link is below. Just check it there.